What's going on with y'all? 7 Soldier 7 back at it with another video. Today we're gonna be talking about the dark night of the soul. This is a topic one of the homies in the comments suggested me to make a video about, and it's a perfect topic to speak on because I've been really reflecting on not really the concept of dark night of the soul, but what incorporates it. And the essence of going through the dark night of the soul is mainly about pain. Pain is the catalyst for spiritual growth. And why I say this is because this is the main thing that we are all avoiding. We're avoiding the pain, the trauma that we have within ourselves. This is the bulk of why we have addictions, why we do certain habits, why we repeat behaviors that we know don't benefit us at all. It just gives us immediate pleasures. This immediate pleasure is what takes us away from the pain, right? So the dark night of the soul happens when, instead of continuously repeating these behaviors that you know is the cause of your downfall, like watching porn, like masturbation, etc., you now take this step of self-improvement. You take the step of self-transformation, and you decide to change your behavior. You decide to stop the behavior that is destroying you. This is when the dark night of the soul happens. When you make that decision to change. You have to understand why change is so difficult for human beings. Change is so scary for human beings. Why is change so scary? It's because when you decide to change, you decide to change an action that you continuously do, it's not something that you just, okay, I think I'm gonna stop this, and boom, you stop it. That's not what happens. Literally almost never. What happens is you decide to change, you have that conviction, but that conviction is only a thought, right? It hasn't manifested in the physical world. In order for that to happen, you have to go against literally years of ingrained programming, years of habitual patterns that your body uses as a safety mechanism. You see, when you watching porn, you have to understand that is a neural connection in your brain. That is something that is ingrained in your nervous system. You'll see there's specific times, literally specific times, that you have that desire for whatever addiction you have. But since I like to speak on semen retention, we're going to talk about porn. There's a specific time where this urge comes, right? You'll go through the whole day perfectly fine. Nothing, no urge, cool. But as soon, maybe at the end of the day, when you hit your bed, boom, that urge come hit you like a fucking brick. After the whole day, you're perfect. Why? Because there's a neural connection in your brain that this habit is connected to, right? It's ingrained inside of you. It's a program. You're running unconsciously. So when you decide to make a change now, you're deciding to change consciously. But you have to understand this, the unconscious is stronger than the conscious by a long shot. This is why everybody struggles to change. This is why people stay the same, even though they know what they're doing is wrong. It's because, in essence, you have to fight yourself in order to get rid of a habit. But this process of not necessarily fighting, but staying true to your conviction rather than giving in to the program. This is what brings on the dark night of the soul. It's like the analogy of the phoenix, where the phoenix has to die. It literally has to burn to ashes in order to rise again in all its glory. That's the same process that you have to do internally when you want to self-improve. You have to literally kill your old self. That's what you're doing. When you're going through these withdrawals from certain habits, that pain, literally you feel your body crawling, right? You have the urge to do this habit that you know is not good. Literally, you feel like you're gonna die if you don't do this. This pain is actually your healing. This is the healing process. This is your body shifting, transforming to your will, right? So withdrawals are good. When you feel that pain, right? That's actually your body going through a transformation. This is the universe testing you, right? Because this program, like I said, it's ingrained. And we have to understand the spiritual, the unseen is connected to the physical, the seen. So these ingrained programs, these are actually etheric entities that feed off this behavior, right? You're not just going against your physical structure, your physical being, but you're also going against these etheric beings who feed off your addictions, and they will fight, right? They will craft reality, because before anything manifests in the physical, it manifests in the spiritual. They will craft reality so you could go back to that addiction, that addictive behavior. Like, for example, you might be 10 days strong, right? On semen retention, right? No porn, none of that. Out of nowhere, a woman, like you're walking your daily life, doing whatever you need to do. A woman who you find so attractive walks, you've never seen her before, yet you walk this path almost every day. A woman you see so attractive, you see the body you like, the breast, the ass, all of that. It pulls you in, right? And she ends up having a conversation with you, blah blah blah, right? You get turned on, and the urge comes strong to watch porn, right? To masturbate. This is your body, because your body is what forms reality. This is your body. This is these etheric entities trying to trap you back into this addictive pattern. And how you get over that, how you overcome, is you stay true to your conviction. This is the only way to go through the dark night of the soul and be reborn. This is the only way to die and be reborn again, is if you stay true to that conviction, even when the urge is so strong, right? So there's two options after that situation. You could go back home and do what you know you're not supposed to do the exact opposite that you set out to do, which is not watch porn, not masturbate, right? Or you could ignore those urges, understand them, and stay true to your conviction. You don't go home. You don't masturbate. You might instead continue on your walk. You might do some push-ups. You might do some exercise. Do another behavior rather than doing the addictive behavior you're trying to overcome. This is how you get over. This is how you transform. This is how you self-improve. This is the only way, right? You can't just think your way out of addictive behaviors. No, you have to actually change yourself on a neural level, right? You have to change your nervous system, right? You have to switch your whole mentality. You literally have to kill the old self in order to be reborn. This whole process is the dark night of the soul. Right? So there is not just one specific moment of the dark night of the soul. There's many different dark nights of the soul that you're going to go through in your life. Any behavior that you want to change, there's going to come a point where you're going to go through that pain instead of avoiding it. Because that is literally the only way through. If you continue to fall in that behavior, continue to do that action, then you're not going to change, right? Instead of passing through that process of the dark night of the soul, you're going to fall back. You would rather stay in that habitual pattern rather than change. And this is the process 99% of people do. Change is very difficult. Pain is very scary. But pain is what is the catalyst of all growth at all levels. You have to go through that pain. Whether that's going through food, if you want to change your diet, you're going to have a dark night of the soul moment when you're doing that. You're going to go through withdrawals from the food that you used to eat, right? You're going to go through detox symptoms. You're going to deal with cravings. This is what happens. You cannot avoid this. Why? Because these things are programmed and ingrained in you, and you're trying to change that. That's a very difficult process. Like I said, it's not just your physical body that is habituated to these actions. There's astral entities that feed off these behaviors. Don't think they're not going to put up a fight. They will, right? But the strength of your conviction is what's going to get you through that. The strength of your will is what's going to get you through that. You not caving into these cravings, these urges, because you have a goal in mind. When the universe sees that you're serious, when your conviction is true, when you're not giving into these urges, this is when the shift starts to happen. This is when the rebirth process starts to happen. And you truly transform and you truly change. That's the point where you no longer have urges, where you change on a neurological level, when your nervous system shifted. Your brain pattern shifted. Now the old patterns are dead. You have been reborn. Okay, so don't run from the dark night of the soul process. This is very mandatory for all growth, especially spiritual. So there you go. That is the dark night of the soul. Any more recommendations y'all have for me, put them in the comments. I'll get to them, and that's it. Peace.